My name is Adeline. I am 21 years old. People think they know my life. They look at my photos, my wedding pictures, my calm face, and they assume everything is fine. But people only see what you allow them to see. They never see the quiet nights. They never hear the thoughts that refuse to sleep. I got married young. Too young, some would say. But at the time, I believed I was doing the right thing. Everyone around me said I was lucky. A good husband. A respectable family. A safe home. Safety is a powerful word. It can hide a lot of emptiness. There is a truth no one knows. A truth I carried quietly. I married. Yet I remained untouched. On my wedding day, I wore a white dress. It was heavy and beautiful, just like the expectations placed on me. I smiled because that was what brides were supposed to do. Relatives laughed loudly. Friends whispered behind their hands. Someone said I looked nervous. Someone else said I looked innocent. My mother held my hands tightly. Her grip was firm, almost desperate. "Everything will be fine now," she said. "This is how life begins." I believed her. That night, after the guests left and the house finally grew quiet, I waited. I sat on the edge of the bed, my dress folded beside me, listening to the ticking clock on the wall. Tick, tick, tick. Each second felt heavier than the last. I rehearsed words in my head. I wondered if I should speak first or wait. I wondered if fear was normal. My husband entered the room late. He closed the door gently, as if trying not to disturb something fragile. He looked nervous. He avoided my eyes. I told myself he was shy. I told myself he was kind. I told myself this was normal. He sat far away from me, leaving space between us that felt larger than the room itself. "You must be tired," he said softly. "We can sleep." I nodded. That night, nothing happened. I lay awake for hours, staring at the ceiling, listening to his breathing on the other side of the bed. I told myself tomorrow would be different. But tomorrow came. And nothing changed. The next day passed quietly. Then the next. Then another. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. Life moved forward, but something inside our marriage stood still. People began asking questions. "Are you happy? When will we hear good news? You should become a mother soon." I smiled every time. I learned how to smile without meaning it. Inside, I felt hollow. My husband was polite. He was respectful. He never raised his voice. He never hurt me. He also never touched me. Not once. Not even by accident. At first, I told myself this was love. That maybe he wanted to wait. That maybe I was lucky to have a husband who respected boundaries. But silence inside a marriage is loud. It echoes. At night, I would lie beside him and feel lonelier than I had ever felt alone. I started questioning myself. Was I not attractive enough? Was I doing something wrong? Was there something broken inside me? One night, after months of swallowing questions, I finally spoke. "Did I do something wrong?" I asked softly. He froze. For a long moment, he said nothing. Then he spoke words I will never forget. "I married because my family wanted it," he said. "Not because I was ready. Not because I felt love." My chest tightened. It felt hard to breathe. "Then why me?" I asked. He looked down, unable to meet my eyes. "Because you were quiet," he whispered. "And you would not ask questions." That was the moment everything became clear. I was not chosen. I was convenient. I was not a wife. I was a solution. From that day on, I stopped waiting. I stopped counting nights. I stopped hopping for change. I stopped blaming myself. I focused on myself instead. I read books late into the night instead of staring at the door. I went for long walks alone. I learned how to enjoy silence without fear. I learned something important. Being untouched does not always mean being unloved. Sometimes it means being unseen. People around us thought our marriage was perfect. They saw no fights, no shouting, no broken plates. They never saw the loneliness. After 1 year, I made a decision. I sat across from my husband, my hands steady, my voice calm. I deserve honesty, I said. And I deserve choice. He didn't argue. He didn't beg. He didn't stop me. That hurt more than anger ever could. I left quietly. No shouting. No accusations. No tears in front of anyone. Only dignity. Today, I am still young. Still learning. Still healing. I am not ashamed of my story. Because being untouched did not break me. Being unheard almost did. Sometimes, marriage does not fail because of betrayal, but because of silence. And sometimes, walking away is not weakness. It is courage. Leaving the house did not feel dramatic. There were no suitcases thrown across the room. No doors slammed. No final arguments. I folded my clothes slowly. I packed my books carefully. I touched the walls one last time. This house had never heard my voice raised in anger. It had never heard my laughter either. As I walked out, the air felt different. Heavier and lighter at the same time. For the first few nights, I barely slept. Not because I missed him, but because my body was finally catching up with years of silence. I questioned myself again. Was I selfish? Was I wrong to leave a marriage that looked peaceful from the outside? Was I expecting too much? But then I remembered something important. Peace is not the absence of noise. Peace is the presence of truth. I began to rebuild my life slowly. I woke up without fear. I ate without pretending. I spoke without rehearsing my words in my head. Some days were hard. Some nights were lonely. But loneliness with honesty felt kinder than togetherness without love. People asked questions. Why did you leave? He never hurt you. He seemed like a good man. I smiled and said nothing. Because some wounds are invisible. And not every pain leaves a mark on the skin. With time, I stopped explaining myself. I stopped defending my decision. I learned that people who benefit from your silence will always hate your voice. One evening, months later, I saw him again. He looked the same. Calm. Quiet. He asked if I was doing okay. I looked at him and realized something surprising. I felt nothing. No anger. No sadness. No regret. Just distance. And that distance felt like freedom. I thanked him, not for loving me, but for teaching me something important. That love without choice is not love. That marriage without honesty is just a role. And that being untouched did not make me incomplete. Being unseen almost did. Today, I am still learning who I am. Still discovering my strength. Still choosing myself every day. I no longer measure my worth by someone else's readiness. I no longer wait to be chosen. Because I understand now. I was never broken. I was only quiet. And once I found my voice, I found my life. Some endings do not come with relief. They come with clarity. And this was mine.